I saw an Instagram the other day about some monk or I don't know, guru talking about someone asked me what my why is. Who said I had a why? Why do I need a why? If I need a why, then I need something that I'm always trying to accomplish. Why don't I just enjoy the process? It feels like that's your answer, that you're just in the flow.
Just in the creative flow and in the creative process, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think that maybe makes you very unique in the world of entrepreneurship anyway, and why so many people look up to you. So I have 1,000 questions. I want to start by going back. I feel like people's superpower often comes from experiences that they had earlier in their life that maybe weren't necessarily the greatest experiences. And I've heard you talk a little bit about yours. Can you share what got that fire in your belly or where you come from?
Mhm. I mean, I'm half Japanese, half Indian from India. My dad's from India, and I grew up in French Canada and Montreal, as you're French as well, which I love. And I think I just grew up where we got to debate a lot around the table, like around the dinner table. We just got to like look at different things from different perspectives all the time, and just constantly debate about like, well, you're looking at it from this perspective. Well, what about that perspective? What about this perspective? And I think it was always welcome to have a healthy debate. And so I think I just never accepted the status quo of anything and just always questioned it. It's like, why is it done this way? Is there a better way? Like, is that the only way? Because there can't be the only way. There's got to be another way because there's many ways to do all kinds of things because everything in the world is made up. And so money is made up, time is made up. I mean, everything is made up. So why can't we invent new possibilities that feel really, really good to all of us? That's even better and better.
Yeah, one of the things I've heard you talk about that I've been pondering a lot is the idea of if I'm trying to sell something to people in the language of that they want, or I'm trying to figure out what people want to hear so that I can get more viewers or get more clients, then you're on the wrong track.
Right.
You start by looking inward, right? And what it is that you want a solution to or what you want to say. Can you talk about that? Because I think people struggle with that in the world of business.
Yeah, I mean, I think oftentimes like people want to start something on a whim. It's like, I'm going to start another t-shirt company because I really like cat memes. And so I'm going to just do a cat meme t-shirt company. And you're like, well, are you going to be passionate about that for a long time? So in my first book, Do Cool Shit, I actually lay out like the 3 simple questions to ask yourself before starting any business. And I think that also helps weed out a lot of kind of the stuff that you think you might want to do, but doesn't make any sense actually. So the first question is, what sucks in my world? So there has to be a pain point that starts with me. So for me, having stomach aches was my very first pain point, which led me to start my first gluten-free farm-to-table pizza concept, which is still running to this day, 18 years later in New York City. Having period accidents every month on my period. I'm actually wearing my things right now because I've had period accidents every single month, and it was just so messy. I'm a very heavy bleeder, and it was just one of those things where I'm like, like always had to interrupt my day until I invented a new possibility, which is a pair of underwear that just backs you up. And then, I had a thyroid issue for a couple of years, which led me to poop a lot, which led me to like having a very chapped butt from wiping with toilet paper, which then led me to jumping the bath shower to wash myself, which then led me to getting a bidet from my ex-husband, and then the bidet changed my life. And I, wanted to bring the best in class affordable version of that to the American people. So what sucks in my world? Like it starts with my problem. And then the second question is, does it suck for a lot of people? Well, 1 in 5 Americans eat gluten-free. 1 in 5 Americans are lactose intolerant. There's so many people with GI issues today. Every single woman can raise their hand and say, I have had period accidents in my life, and I would want some kind of a backup to protect me, like, when I'm on my period. That'd be amazing to not have to just make a mess. Every human who has any type of chronic UTIs, hemorrhoids, fissures, itching, who's been pregnant, who before sex, after sex, want to feel sexy, clean, use a bidet, wash yourself, get a precise shower for your butt. It's a problem that everybody has if you're actually using just dry toilet paper, which is disgusting. So does it suck for me? What sucks in my world? Does it suck for a lot of people? And the third question is, can I be passionate about this issue, cause, or community for a really long time? And I think that's where people get a lot stuck in. It's like, can I be passionate about women's issues? Yes. Can I be passionate about food? Yes. Can I be passionate about saving millions of trees and up leveling our health and hygiene in life? Yes. For the rest, as long as I need to, yes. And so, they say it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. It's like, oh, as an example, how long do you think it took LaCroix, you know, the drink LaCroix, like LaCroix, the drink, to
Yeah.
become a thing? People are like, oh my God, it popped up out of nowhere. Guess how old LaCroix is, LaCroix?
How old?
Guess.
20 years. I'm guessing because you just told me it was 10 years to make an
It's like
overnight
30,
success. So I'm now assuming it's been around a
it's like
while.
30.
Oh, really? 35?
Yeah. And it only popped up out of nowhere like 5 years ago, you know, when you saw them at Whole Foods everywhere.
Right.
So it just takes, I mean,
And now everyone is talking, everyone knows what LaCroix is.
yes. And so
It feels like that with my career. I've been keynoting for 10 years, and I think like even just now people are maybe starting to hear about me, you know?
yeah,
And that took 10 years of no one knowing who I was to actually happen.
yeah, exactly.
So you've mastered all these movements. You have a lot going on in I mean, you're an author, you're a keynoter, you have all these businesses. What is the thing that has brought you the most joy or that you've been the most passionate about in your varied career?
I would just say like solving problems and like, you know, it's like my whole thing is like up leveling people and the planet. You know, can have all of these things that have been put, you know, that I've, you know, invented with my amazing teams, like supported people and planet. Yes, 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 across the board. Yes. And so I think it's always fun. It's like every month I use my period products. I use things every single day. I use Tushy. When I'm in at restaurant, when I want to just go and indulge on a piece of pizza, I go at my restaurant because it's gluten-free, farm to table, local, and I can eat it without stomach aches. You know, so it's like it's solving my own problems. And when I see people enjoying it too, like, oh, this is the first gluten-free pizza I've had in my whole life. I opened it 18 years ago. There was no gluten-free pizza place around. And so people were like, I haven't eaten pizza in like 20 years. Like, you know, and it just feels so good to like, you know, all these women like at Burning Man come up to me and pull their pants down, be like, I'm wearing my things, you know, and like everyone, it's like I've received so many messages being like, whenever I take a shit, I think about you. And I'm like, thank you, you know? So it's just totally gratifying when you have millions of people using your products and they're like truly feeling up leveled, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, before I had ever heard of you, I knew about Tushy. I have a Tushy. I've had a Tushy for years. I got a second Tushy when I moved, and my landlord broke my first Tushy when he was trying to uninstall it.
Yeah.
So here's what struck me about that product, and that is the brand authenticity that came through in every piece of, you know, the instruction manual and the website and the order email, like everything that came through. I thought, man, this brand has such a clear and authentic voice. Does that voice reflect your voice? Is that your voice, or was that something that was collectively created by all of the executives and employees and marketing people that were on that team together?
I mean, I think it always starts at the top with permission, right? And it's like a permission
Mm.
slip to be fully yourself. I mean, we naturally attract people who want to say poop, who want to be authentic, who are funny because we're in the business of poop, you know? Even at things like we wanted to make people bring in people who are funny, who didn't take themselves so seriously, who are artful, but still, you know, just like you're texting your best friend, like you're just relaxed in yourself. And I think being authentic attracts authentic people, and so as a result the work that's being put out is authentic. It's not like I wonder what people want me to say and how they want me to say it and I'm going to say it that way, versus like what do we authentically want to share, like what is bubbling up inside that we're like, oh, I have an idea, like let me, like my team like constantly is like, I have an idea for this like cool idea, like this cool campaign, like what do you think? And it's like, yes, like go do it. And so it's this permission slip. And I think the one thing that I get often from my Tushy team is like, I just feel the permission to be myself. And that just feels like so
Mm.
good. And I think because of that, great authentic ideas come through for everyone on the team. So it's always collaborative, it's always collective. But I think like the world of authenticity has to come from the permission from like the leadership, right?